Think about when you walk into a pet store and you see the cute little faces of puppies and kittens so happy to see you. Now, think about when you walk into a shelter. You see the faces of the dogs and cats that have been surrendered or abandoned, and they are oh so lonely. Adopting from a shelter is better than buying from a breeder. I have rescued 2 dogs from bad situations and have adopted 1 from a shelter. Throughout the next few minutes, my goal is to persuade you to adopt from a shelter instead of buying from a breeder. I will review with you the number of animals that are in shelters, how adopting from a shelter can save more than 1 life, and how the animals that come from breeders are treated so horribly. According to my audience analysis, 90% of you have a pet and have been to a shelter, and 100% of you would adopt from a shelter. According to ASPCA.org, it's a mouthful, 76% of companion animals are brought in every year to shelters. 3.4 million cats are brought in, and 3.9 million dogs are brought in. Now, every year, 2.7 million companion animals are euthanized. That's 1.4 million cats and 1.2 million dogs. That leaves 1.3 million cats and 1.5 million dogs still living and need adoption. Some of them do get returned to their owners, but not many. Of the dogs that enter the shelters, 35% are adopted, 31% are euthanized, and 26% that come in as strays are returned to their owners. Cats, 37% are adopted, 41% are euthanized, and less than 5% that come in as strays are returned to their owners. Now, let's talk about how adopting can save more than 1 life. Shelters become overcrowded because people choose to not have their pets spayed or neutered. People don't realize that the cost of getting a pet spayed or neutered is a lot less than having to deal with multiple litters and trying to find them homes and get them vetted for them homes. So a lot of the litters end up back right into shelters, and it takes up more space in the shelters. Adopting from a shelter, you would save more than 1 life. It opens up a spot for another animal that comes in or that has been abandoned or surrendered. With more people surrendering their pets or just abandoning them on the street, there needs to be more room in shelters. The more people adopt, the less euthanasia there is, so that's saving more than one life. Now we need to find out about the horrible conditions that breeders have. According to PetMedsOnline.org, the condition that most breeders are horrible. The animals are kept in small cages with very little food and water. They are forced to lay in their own feces and urine. Most of the time, the animal isn't even removed from the cage when it is cleaned. They power wash the cages while the pet is still in there. Therefore, it causes injuries, and the pet gets no vetting. They just continue to keep them in there until they quit producing. Some breeders will stack cages on top of each other, so it brings in more room for more cages, therefore more litters. The animals get no affection. They don't get petted. They never even feel the grass on their feet. They're kept in those cages from pretty much the time that they're born until the time that when they quit producing litters. They are killed, most of the time very inhumanely. The puppies are then sent to pet stores by truckloads, and a lot of times not all of the puppies even make it. And pet stores don't want you to know this, because then it would deter people from buying from pet stores. So people don't want you to know that this bad stuff is happening. Now, in closing, adopting from a shelter is better than buying from a breeder. I have shared with you the number of animals in shelters, how adopting from a shelter can save more than 1 animal's life, how animals from breeders are treated horribly. I challenge all of you, the next time you are considering getting a pet, to adopt from a shelter. I would like to end with a quote from Emmylou Harris. I'm so grateful that I am able to do something that is a passion of mine that I have for shelter animals. In a strange way, it completes me. It means so much to me and makes me feel like I am truly making a difference.